Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Brian, also known as Bray, and welcome back to another video. So I had this idea before Devil May Cry 5 came out, and I thought it would be fun to do. So what we are going to do, we are going to rank each devil trigger in Devil May Cry. So the devil triggers in Devil May Cry has always been something really cool and interesting. Each of the playable characters throughout each of the Devil May Cry games are either pure demons or half demons, and they're able to activate their full demonic power. Some of them have devil forms. They have special tools specifically when you're in Devil Trigger. And overall, it's just so fucking cool. And we are going to rank each of the Devil Triggers from each of the Devil May Cry games. So we are going to go through each of the Devil May Cry games. We are going to rank the Devil Triggers by the design of the Devil Triggers and the utilities that we get from each of the Devil Triggers. So let's start with the first game, Devil May Cry. So the way I'm gonna rank each devil trigger is by letters: S, A, B, C, and D. S being the best and D being the worst. And I will give double and triple S ranks, but only on the rarest occasion. When it exceeds my expectation, that's the only way I will give, only if I really like those stuff. So without further ado, let's rock. Okay, so this is a nice close-up area that we can fully see our devil triggers. So in each game, I'm going to explain the devil triggers, how the devil triggers work, etc, what's the difference in them. In the first Devil May Cry, there's only one playable character, which is Dante, and he has 3 devil triggers. Alright, so let us rank a last story. So let's go devil trigger. So devil trigger in this game is very different. Physical form, Dante is just glowing. It's just a glowing arrow in the first Devil May Cry game. There really is no, devil form. But when you attack, you see his devil form. So that's how his devil form is in Alastor. And the same thing as Ifrit and Sparta. It's only when you attack it shows the devil trigger. But if you hold the glide button, you can kind of get a full view of the Alastor devil trigger. So it looks, for its time, the PS2 era, it's not bad. It's not bad. Like it shows, demonic wings. He's all, it's all dark. You kind of see his hair being spiky and stuff. So it isn't that much of a pretty good looking devil trigger here. But it does have some good utilities. It has air ray, which is very good to just fuck people up under. Of course, it has vortex, which vortex actually does have invisibility. So it's actually very good, to avoid damage and all that stuff. So so Alastor being the first devil trigger in all the Devil May Cry games, the first one ever made, it's pretty good. It's standard. I like it. It's very useful in some situation when you're fighting enemies. So I'll give Alastor a B+. It's a nice standard devil trigger. The first devil trigger, it looks pretty good. It has great utilities, and overall, it's the first devil trigger of all time. So I will give it a B+. And now Ifrit. Ooh, now this baby. Now this is pretty good. Alright, so the same thing as that last story is you only get a glowing aura, but once you press a button, it shows his devil form. And which is great about this, if you hold it, you can kind of see more of his devil trigger. It looks pretty sweet. It looks nice. You kind of see claws on his fists, and it looks pretty sick. So you do have some different move sets when you're in devil trigger. You have the fireball. You hold it. Oh, it goes fucking big. And if you jump and press triangle, well, at least you press triangle and forward. Oh, you a big inferno, big fire all around you. Overall, it looks pretty good. Instead, the same thing, same design as Alastor, but just it's without the wings, and this time you have claws. And overall, it's really useful on some certain areas when you just want to get rid of some enemies, want to do some damage to multiple enemies on the area. You can use Inferno. I like the claws. I like the claws as a nice touch to it. So overall, it looks really good. I will give Ifrit's devil trigger a B+ as well. If the same thing as the last story, just different types of designs with the claws and different utilities. So I'll give it a B+ as well. Now for Sparta, sadly we don't get a devil trigger, like in the beginning in the game. We only get a devil trigger at the end of the game when we fight against Mundus. So being the final devil trigger in Devil May Cry, it looks pretty sick. It's pretty badass. We finally get to see how it looks like the legendary Dark Knight. This is actually the first time we actually see how the legendary Dark Knight Sparta looks like. and it looks pretty good. Since we're only able to activate this in the final part of the game, it does look cool, and there's a lot of good movesets for Sparta when we're fighting Mundus in the final battle. We do get Ifrit's Fireball, which is very useful. We do get Round Trip's ability, and every time we attack with the Sparta in our Devil Trigger, we can actually go long range. It has a big range when we're fighting Mundus. So all those unique movesets do apply to the final battle with Mundus. So it being the Sparta's Devil Trigger, it's pretty badass. So I'm gonna give it a solid A. It's a nice looking Devil Trigger with some great moves with the fight with Mundus. So we get to A rank. All right, Devil May Cry 2. So funny story. So in Devil May Cry 2, once I completed my Dante Must Die run, I didn't save. So in my save file, I never completed mission 18, only 17. So yeah. So in Devil May Cry 2, there's 4 Devil Triggers. There's Dante's Devil Trigger, Lucia's, Arius' Secretary, DT, which is a costume for Lucia, and of course Trish, which is a playable character in this game, who also has a Devil Trigger. So Devil May Cry 2 is the first game that actually had multiple different types of characters, playable characters with different movesets, and etc. So let us start with Dante. Yep, this is it. This is his Devil Trigger. So right off the bat, the design wise, it's not a bad looking Devil Trigger. I mean, I like that they kept the wings from the first one. They want to keep it demonic and stuff like that. His trench coat now goes along with his Devil Trigger, which looks okay. I mean, again, I feel like it looks a little bit weird. He has a Devil Trigger, his trench coat goes to Devil Trigger, but it's not bad. Overall, you kind of see the same aura as Devil May Cry 1, like the electric aura going around. The face, I'm not a big fan of. The face, I don't like it too much. I mean, I have mixed feelings. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not okay, but overall, I don't really like it too much. I feel like they could have done better with the face at least, but it's spiky, spiky white hair. It looks okay, but it does have some different movesets, the Dante's Devil Trigger. So some of his movesets change. He has different types of moves. So we go, he has that type of move, and he has this multiple stabby moves, and he has different types of moves. His basically movesets kind of change. He fucking jumps over with his sword. I think that's pretty fucking cool. Overall, it isn't too great, but when he does go Devil Trigger, his guns do change into like machine guns, rapid fire, because he does have mini guns attached to his hand for some fucking reason, and he just fucking destroys fucking enemies. I mean, overall, the health does deplete, does a lot of do it damage depending on the element and the hearts overall. And when you do switch the hearts, the amulets, to the aerial one, he does use his wings, but sometimes it looks like at least the wings have a different animation, and your attack it does different stuff. He does rebellion, and his sword spins doing different types of attack. It is useful in some situations. It is pretty good. Overall, the design of Dante's Devil Trigger is not bad. Could have been better, but it is a big upgrade from the first one. But knowing how the gameplay works, how the mechanics work and the gameplay works, overall the movesets, all that don't really work out too much. So the rank I will give it is a solid B rank. I will give it a solid B rank. Design wise, it looks okay. Some of the parts I don't like too much. He barely has any different types of movesets when he's in Devil Trigger. But with the game, how the game is, the utilities that Dante has in his DT do help a lot in certain situations. It's Devil May Cry 2, but I'll give it a solid B. So I lied. There's not 4 Devil Triggers. There's 5 Devil Triggers. Dante has a second Devil Trigger, which is the Majin form, the Majin Devil Trigger. And honestly, that Devil Trigger is pretty cool, but the way to activate it, Dante's supposed to have low health. His health is supposed to be red, so we need to get his health to the red. So right off the bat, the way to activate it is not good. One more hit will do. There we go. Okay, so the way to activate this Devil Trigger, you gotta just jump and press Devil Trigger. Alright, so this Devil Trigger, design-wise, is pretty fucking badass. And we fucking look at it, but we can't because we got enemies. So, design-wise of the Majin form looks pretty fucking sick. I mean, it looks like a fucking demon. A whole lot better than the standard Devil Trigger. So it looks pretty fucking sick. I mean, it looks pretty sick. Design wise is fucking great. Oh, we can, but I fucking died. See, this is the also big problem with Dante's Majin form, is you gotta be careful because the way to activate, you could activate it. You gotta activate with his little health, but if you don't pay attention to its to enemy's attacks, it can fuck you up, and trying to activate Majin form could just basically fucking get you killed. All right, so let's activate Devil Trigger. All right. So design wise, it's a fucking cool. It looks so cool, but the tools that it has fucking suck. It fucking sucks. I mean, it looks cool. It has some different move sets, but the only way that deals great damage is only that. It has some cool stuff, but the way its movesets are, I'll show you some videos of his actual moveset, that more arsenals that he has, but overall they really do fucking suck. The only one that does actually great is the fucking fireballs. His fireballs are the only great way to actually deal damage to the enemies. He has different moveset that does that look fucking cool, different types of movesets, but they really are useless. And they consume all of your DT. Most of all the moves that are performed, the tools are performed in Devil May Cry 2, consume your DT a lot. Its tools really do fucking suck, and the way to activate it is a pain in the ass. But it gets a lot of points because of the design. The design looks fucking cool. Overall, I'm gonna give it a B+. I would have given it an S rank if only the way to activate it wasn't a bitch. All of its tools weren't useless. And overall how the game is. So, but I'll give Majin DT a B+. Alright, let's try out Trish. For the first time I actually played as Trish, it was very interesting. I was very curious in what Trish's Devil Trigger is. Trish overall, the added as a playable character is very interesting because she has different movesets that's very very different. So basically she has the movesets from the first Devil May Cry game. So her Devil Trigger, that's it. I mean, all it is, it's glowing. That's all it is. All she fucking has. Nothing good. I mean, if you switch the amulets, she could get, Air Raven, Vortex, and all that stuff. But it is very fucking lazy. I think she gets Vortex, right? No, she doesn't get Vortex. I thought she did. It's really bad. I mean, again, it's for Devil May Cry 2. Her movesets do come in handy, especially the guns, the aerial shit. But overall, it's really the way it looks. It's pretty bad. I mean, it's okay. I mean, at least the animation for her spinning move looks pretty cool. But overall, she gets no actual DT. It's just a yellow aura. But it's okay. I'm not a big fan of it. It sucks. I'll give it a solid C. I'll give it a C. It's just all movesets from the first game implanted into the second game. It's lazy. The design looks bad. It's just a yellow aura lightning. So I'll give it a solid C. It's a bad DT. So Lucia's DT. Let's look at her DT. It's pretty good. Her DT is pretty fucking badass. I mean, overall, it looks pretty cool. I like that half of her face is covered, just like her hair. It looks cool, but it goes to the other side. But I don't know, I don't know. But overall, it looks pretty cool. Her dash is cool. She's fast. Her different movesets are different. She has that. La. But again, the DT does get consumed a lot. So again, with Dante's DT, she does get different moveset, different tools, but it's very, I barely use it any much. I mean, the way to use these movesets, or these new moves, is to actually do the movesets, and just go out of DT and you still do it. But I think it does a little bit more damage, but overall, it's okay. Her flight though, it looks pretty good. I like her flight. It looks good. Her wings are angelic, like an angel. It looks cool. But her feet kind of like birds. So I'm not sure if it's a mixture of the bird or an angel, but overall it looks pretty good. It's not a bad looking Devil Trigger. I like how her sword fucking glows. I think that's a pretty fucking cool mix. If you change the amulet, you get different types of, you get different types of colors with her sword. So I think that's another cool visual. But overall, it is pretty cool. Yeah, she does. You do get more movesets like that. But again, how Devil May Cry 2 is, you rarely use these moves. They're not too powerful. in certain situations. It's honestly, it's just not. The way to do this, you hold 2 buttons and you do it, but it's not useful. So yeah, she has different moveset, but overall it's very useful, and the way it's gonna hit, it's very rarely. Her guns change. Instead of, because she throws her knives, this time she throws a bunch of knives all over. I don't think if you switch your weapons, it changes at all. Yeah, it doesn't. It's all the same thing. So it is useful sometimes, but it doesn't do too much damage. Overall, Lucia's DT is, you know, in my opinion, the best in this entire game. The visuals look great. Again, with the tools, it's not the best, and you rarely use it. They're all pretty weak. So overall, I will give Lucia's DT A-. It's a good DT. The visuals look great. I like how it looks, but tools suck. So overall, I will give it an A-. So Arius' secretary, as an extra costume for Lucia, since you know they do play the same in the boss fight, even though it's a fucking bitch. Her DT is different. This time it's kind of evil, it's kind of dark. It looks pretty nice, not gonna lie. It looks like a cool devil trigger. You know, it's the same thing as Lucia's devil trigger, except you know her eye isn't covered. But overall, it's the same thing, just different color. You know, like an evil aura, still the exact same move sets. You know, the same animation for her fly, but overall, just a different darker aura. It looks the same thing. So even though it's technically the same thing, except you know, just the face is different. I'm not a big fan of it. I like it a whole lot more. So I'll just rank it a little, just like 1 lower. So instead of giving it an A-, I will give it a B+. So just different visual change. I prefer the eye patch a whole lot more. It looks cooler. It's just an evil aura. So I overall give this devil trigger a B+. Devil May Cry 3, the best Devil May Cry game out there. Yes, I said it, fight me. Devil May Cry 3 is the best. I still love it. It's a fucking great game. Anyway, devil triggers in Devil May Cry 3. So let's rank them. Okay, so first off, so now there's two playable characters in Devil May Cry 3, Dante and Virgil, and they all have that one devil trigger, but each costume, specifically for these characters, there's multiple devil triggers. But right now, let's go with Dante and his default costume, and the way his devil triggers are, and it's pretty much the same, but his appearances, his design changes with the different types of weapon he has. So let's go with the Rebellion. So the standard devil trigger with Rebellion, the sword. So I have mixed feelings. From the back, it doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty cool. How his cape is. Again, they're keeping the tradition now. His cape goes to devil trigger now. This is demonic form, but in my honest opinion, it does not look like a devil. I'm not a big fan of this devil trigger. It looks okay. I mean, I feel like they could have done better for the standard. I mean, probably given some horns, but it does not look like a demon or a devil. I don't like it, especially like, you know, the design of, you know, his trench coat, you know, his chest and his feet, especially those zebra stripes. I'm not a big fan of, especially with the color. I'm not a fan with it, but at least when, you know, he jumps, you know, his cape does turn into, like, you know, like devil wings, which is a cool thing. I actually like that, you know. That looks pretty cool. Utilities, he doesn't really have too much. It's all kind of the same. Doesn't have too much stuff, just to put the extra damage. You don't get stunned when enemies hits you, stuff like that. So overall, I will give it a C+. Not a big fan of the Rebellion devil trigger. And now with Cerberus' devil trigger. All right, so it's I gotta say, this is a little bit better than Rebellion's devil trigger. I think it looks cool. I like the way, you know, it's kind of like, you know, type of wings in the back. It looks cool, like it moves. It looks cool. It kind of kept the same thing with, you know, the zebras, stripes, all that, but I think it looks a whole lot better from the Rebellion. It actually looks like a devil. It has some horns there. Looks pretty cool. I like it. I like the Cerberus a whole lot better. You know, in which all the devil triggers are a whole lot faster, so each move is pretty cool. But overall, I think I like this one a whole lot better. Cerberus, of course, is more better. So pretty much every devil trigger in Devil May Cry 3 is going to be, we're going to rank it with the design-wise, basically. So I think it looks a whole lot better. Still kind of the same, you know, choices, just different colors with the black and the blue. Still keeping the red. So I think for this one, I'll give it a solid B. I like it. I'll give it a solid B. Now, Agni and Rudra. All right. So this was not bad either. It's not bad. He has a lot of spiky stuff. You know, now he's from his feet, his back. and he has more types of horns. Looks okay. The thing I like is that each side of the design is different. One's blue and the other one's orange. You know, to show the difference of the elements. It has wind and fire, so I think it's pretty fucking cool. I fucking like that. So overall, it's pretty good design. Looks cool. The same thing, keeping the red and changing up the the head. So pretty much all the things, they are keeping the red, but this one does not have his coat. Pretty much it's all kind of in him, where he has a lot of spikes. I'm being a little bit biased because Agni and Rudra is my favorite weapon in this game. I think it's pretty fucking cool. Dueling sword and wind and fire. I think it's pretty fucking cool. So I'll give Agni and Rudra a B plus. I'll give it a B plus. I'm not gonna give it an A or A minus. I'll give it a B plus. It looks cool. It's great. All right, now let's go with Navan. Ooh, all right, Navan. So kind of the same thing as Rebellion, but it's a big step up. It kind of covers his whole face. It's kind of like a mask now. It does have horns and stuff like that. His cape is still kind of doing the same thing with the cape. It's the same thing, kind of the same design as Rebellion, but especially the face is different. But utilities wise, this one does have utilities. So in his Devil Trigger, only in his Devil Trigger you go into Air Rave. There we go, Air Rave. So he has Air Rave, so his wings are stand out, and you can pretty much do the same thing as Devil May Cry 1. The first one you could do that on Air Rave. You only have Vortex, so I think that's pretty fucking cool if you just hold it. I think you just tap it. I think when you're around an enemy, it does a whole lot faster, but overall you do get some more utility, so I think that's fucking cool. That gives more points for it, so I'll give it a solid A. I like it. It has great. I'm glad they added this stuff from the first game, so I'm happy with that. So, and the wings stand out when he's actually flying, so it looks cool. I'll give it a solid A. It's great as utilities, and I think it's fucking a good looking Devil Trigger. So I'll give it a solid A. All right, Beowulf Devil Trigger. All right, this one is pretty good too. It's pretty cool. I like that it still has those wings on his back. Looks pretty cool. I think they're wings. There's some type of wings. There's something in his back, and there's some type of cape wings. It looks cool. I kind of like that. But overall, it's pretty much the same thing. Again, with this type of color with Rebellion, it has more white. It brings down more color. I think this one looks a lot better. The same kind of like circle shape with Rebellion. The one thing I wish it did have those kind of like horns at least. But it's not a bad. The design wise doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty good. I mean, the way he moves, especially when he's doing different moves, the way the cape moves, it looks cool. So it's not a bad DT. I like it. So Beowulf Devil Trigger, I'll give it a B plus. I like it. It looks cool. So this Devil Trigger doesn't really have utilities. It's all pretty much the same thing. Navan is kind of the only Devil Trigger that actually has different types of utilities. So Beowulf's Devil Trigger will get a B plus. So like I said before, this game has different costumes. Some of the costumes have different types of looking Devil Triggers, especially with the Sparta and Dante's classic old, DMC 1 self. Devil May Cry 1 and the Sparta form do take the exact same form, which is the Sparta Devil Trigger. And we get a more cool look of the Sparta Devil Trigger, an actual great look. Now we get able to use the Devil Trigger. It looks great. I like how it looks. It looks fantastic. I think it's a great Devil Trigger. We finally get to use the Sparta Devil Trigger, so I think it's fucking badass. So I think it looks great. We get a look of the designs. He has, he's a bug demon. It looks great. I love the horns. The colors of it look great. You kind of see golden, black, and then red. I think it looks fucking great. It's a great fucking Devil Trigger, since it is the same thing as Devil May Cry 1. Devil Trigger, but it's more. We can kind of clearly see it more of its designs. It looks great. I'll keep it the same as the other Devil Trigger as Devil May Cry 1. I'll give it a solid A. It's great. Especially with, you change different types of weapons with the man, you still get the air raid. It's still the same thing, it's just, him floating in the air. Overall, this Devil Trigger, I'll give it a solid A, because it's fucking Sparta, so it's great. Okay, Virgil's Devil Trigger. It's the same thing as Dante. His Devil Trigger does change with the different types of weapons, and his costume does have 2 different types of Devil Triggers. So let's go with the first Devil Trigger. So let's go with Yamato. So, this one, I'm not a big fan of. It's not a good looking Devil Trigger. It looks weird. The thing I do like, which is pretty cool, is that now he has, Yamato's sheath in his arm. So I think that's pretty fucking cool. So he has it there all the time, but this time it's kind of locked in place. And it's great. I think that's pretty fucking cool. So it's cool. So this time he only sheaths it in his arm, so I think that's pretty fucking badass that it's attached to his arm. And the same thing is with the Force Edge. It's the same exact Devil Trigger with Yamato. The same thing. It's just there's no real big difference design wise, but overall I'm not a big fan of his head. Does not look cool. The same thing could kind of have the problems with Dante's Rebellion's Devil Trigger. It's kind of the same thing with Virgil. It looks okay. His wings, when he's in the air, his wings do kind of like, you know, like become a wing, but it's not that good. Yamato and Force Edge Devil Triggers for Virgil will get a B-. I'm not a big fan of the head. It looks like a big fat square. I don't like it, so I'll give it a B-. Now, as for Beowulf's Devil Trigger, it's a big improvement, I think. Big improvement is you know, his head does change forms, you know, with Yamato and Force Edge. Looks a little bit better. You kind of see, you know, kind of like blue lines over his eyes. I think this Devil Trigger, Beowulf's Devil Trigger for you know, Virgil looks pretty fucking sick. The same thing with the wings cape on his back. This time it's 2 instead of just 1 like Dante. So I think that's pretty fucking cool. So it looks pretty fucking sick. I think I prefer this one. This Devil Trigger than Yamato or Force Edge. I'll give that one a B+. It isn't big up, but it looks better than Yamato's DT, so I'll give it a B+. Now this one, Corrupt Virgil. Ooh, now this one. Oh, this shit is so fucking badass. So, I mean, we're gonna assume that you know who Neil Angelo is and Virgil's past, and you play all the games. So I'm assuming. So he goes into fucking Neil Angelo's fucking Devil Trigger. His armor, it looks fucking cool. Even when he walks. Full on armor plate. It looks fucking cool. I love the cape. And I love that he has his fucking sword. Design wise, ooh. I love it. I love it. Even though it's a different team from the first Devil May Cry game, you can show that they put, you know, care into the Devil Triggers, you know, because, you know, they took a fucking design from the first game and put it into Devil May Cry 3. And his moveset changed entirely. So he has fucking Devil May Cry movesets, basically from the boss fight from the first Devil May Cry game. So I feel like that's fucking sick. So he has fucking high time, and he has a helm breaker. He has a stinger, but it's like from the first Devil May Cry game. So I fucking love that they fucking did that. So it's so fucking cool. Even with the fucking moveset, he still has the same moveset from the first Devil May Cry game. He does, you know, in some situations, Neil Angelo does punch. So I feel that's fucking great. I just feel that's fucking great. And when he shoots, I think he could. So yeah, of course he has the summon swords. I know he could shoot. But I don't remember how he could shoot. He can shoot. He can shoot a fireball. I do remember that. He can shoot a fireball, but I don't know how though. I'm pretty sure he has a fireball. I think he does. Maybe I was just fucking tripping, but I think he does have a fireball. But overall, the way they fucking implanted Neil Angelo into this fucking game is fucking great. The same moveset as the first one. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna give this a S rank. It deserves an S rank for being so fucking cool. And plus, it's fucking Virgil. So I feel that's fucking great. If you did not like the design of any of the Devil Triggers, this one takes the cake out of all the fucking Devil Triggers in this game. Corrupt Virgil's DT gets a fucking S rank. So we're doing Devil May Cry 4 now. In Devil May Cry 4, there's 5 playable characters in Devil May Cry 4 this time. Dante, Nero, Virgil, Lady, and Trish, and they all have Devil Trigger, except for Lady. She has a different type of Devil Trigger or something. We'll get to her. So Devil May Cry 4 Devil Triggers. Oh, all right. This one's pretty fucking cool. Dante's Devil Trigger in Devil May Cry 4 is pretty great. So they took away the design of changing when you switch your devil arms. This time it's a full-on Devil Trigger. Whatever weapon you switch, it's different. So this one you actually have more tools than Devil May Cry 3. So this time it's different. So of course, you know, your gun arms all, you know, become powerful. You know, when you shoot, your stinger changes. You know, now this time it does a full-on force. Dealing massive damage. You don't get stunned. That's pretty much all the kind of the tools we have. He does not glide. For Trickster and jumping, he does have doubles. He can jump multiple times, and Trickster can do all that stuff. So he can fucking dash a lot. So in regular, you only dash like only once, but in Devil Trigger, you can fucking go fast. It's great. could trickster 2 times, so it's fucking great. So those are the kind of tools you kind of have when you're in DT with Dante, so it's fucking great. So design wise, it looks good. I like the way the cape looks. You know, he full on looks like a devil. It looks great. Look at his fucking chest all glowing. I feel that's fucking great, and his voice changes too. So I fucking love that. It's fucking great. Love the way his head looks. So this does improve on Devil May Cry 3, DT, and Devil May Cry, you know, 2 and 1. It improves on it. It looks fucking great. The cape inside, you kind of see you know, like lines on it. I wish he had like a glide, but he does not have a glide of any sort, but it looks pretty fucking cool. So overall, Dante's Devil Trigger in Devil May Cry 4 gets a solid A. Alright, Nero's Devil Trigger. So normally, it is just a regular glowing aura around him. His eyes are red, and that's pretty much it when you're not doing anything else. It's pretty, it sucks. Let's get on that. Nero's DT right now sucks, but when you attack, when you see a demon spirit behind him every time you attack, so it doubles the fucking damage every time you fucking every time you attack. You kind of see him move. It's really kind of hard to see, but he does have the same thing as Virgil because Nero is Virgil's son. So you do see the similarities of Virgil's DT implanted into him. Since he does have Yamato, and every time you shoot, you know, summon swords come out of him. So it looks pretty cool. It's all fucking, you know, rotating. So I think that's pretty fucking cool. And you do get some different types of moves, except, you know, from, you know, getting double damage every time you hit the enemies. You also get new moves, a showdown. So I think that looks pretty fucking cool. It charges it up, but it does leave you vulnerable. If you get hit, it does interrupt you. But over and this one we kind of see more of the demon. So I think that's pretty fucking cool. So I'm pretty sure originally he was supposed to get a full DT by the end of the Devil May Cry 4, but you know how it didn't happen. He also has another type of weapon or move, my bad, where he does this type of sort thing. So I feel that's cool. I think this is cool. He does one slash, and then his demon spirit does another slash, making an X. So I think that's pretty fucking cool. But overall, that's pretty much all that's pretty special about him. That he does get points for the spirit, and especially because of that, that's pretty fucking cool. Oh, it looks sick. You hear that? You hear the fucking closing the Yamato. That's kind of the best fucking shit. I fucking love that. But overall, that's pretty much it. I know they wanted to go more with with Nero's DT a whole lot more, but you know how Devil May Cry 4 went. But overall, I'll give Nero's DT a B+. Virgil's Devil Trigger. Okay, here we go. Since Virgil was not technically in the first game, he was implanted into Special Edition. So you had to use Devil May Cry 3's costume, Devil May Cry 3 Virgil, for this game. But since it is the Devil May Cry 3 Virgil, but he's very, very improved on. He has different movesets, and his Devil Triggers do look fucking a whole lot better. So let's go with this Devil Trigger. So it looks a lot better than Devil May Cry's 3's Devil Trigger. You know, since it's high definition, it looks a whole lot better. So I'm not that surprised, but it looks pretty fucking good than Devil May Cry 3's. So you know, the same thing. So he has different types of tools. If you keep attacking, he does an epic fucking slash, deals a lot of damage. So I feel that's fucking great. His wings do not appear though when he jumps. You know, when his trench coat becomes wings, that's out. So same thing with Yamato and Force Edge. Does not change any appearance. Same thing. So he kind of gets the same thing as Dante when he uses, you know, Stinger. So I feel like his design wise, it looks better than Devil May Cry 3's, of course. The same design, but looks better. So Virgil has these bars you can see in the top left corner next to his health. So every time he fights enemies or he just stands still and looks at them, when that gauge glows, he becomes more powerful. He gets more movesets. But when he's in his Devil Trigger and he has that gauge all the way full with Yamato, he can do a pretty cool move. Oh, I think that's fucking sick. And all the enemies around that gets slashed with that all fucking get marked and they fucking take a bunch of damage. So I feel that's fucking cool. With Force Edge, there's nothing similar to that, but with that, the tools that Virgil has in his DT is pretty fucking cool and interesting. So in Devil May Cry 3, I gave Virgil's DT a B-. This time I'm gonna up it a little bit just because of the different tools. It looks a lot better, so I will give it a B+ instead. Same design, but he does have different types of tools. So Yamato Force Edge Devil Trigger gets a B+. Now Beowulf Devil Trigger, the same thing, the same design, but again it looks better, looks a whole lot better, you know, being, you know, high definition, looks cool. You can kind of see a whole lot better, so I feel that's great. Of course, with this Devil Trigger, you get different, you know, extra moves with some of the movesets, so I feel that's pretty fucking cool. So overall, it is pretty much the same design. You know, you get extra moves here and there. This time I will give it a A-, so I think that's pretty fucking cool. So, Corrupt Virgil. He gets, you know, Sparta's DT. It looks a whole lot more better, looks cool. Since it is a new Devil May Cry game, of course, the textures and all that design is gonna look a whole lot better, a little, you know, more fresh, more cool. But overall, it is Sparta DT. It looks more cooler, you know, evil lightning aura. Looks cool. The same kind of move sets with Virgil. The exact same thing. Nothing too different. The same thing. So to keep it a tradition, I give other Spartas in the different Devil May Cry games, I will give it as well this one a solid A. So Trish's Devil Trigger, it's the same thing as Devil May Cry 2. Of course, also in Devil May Cry 2, she does put her glasses on. I forgot to mention that, but she does put her glasses on, and there is a lightning aura, you know, yellow aura. But that's pretty much it. The exact same thing. This one, she does not have air rave like whatsoever. Nothing like that. It's all kind of the same thing. Nothing new. You know, she's more powerful, does more damage, but overall, it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, she does more stuff, extra stuff, but it's nothing too great, honestly. All it is, you know, she gets more buffs, all stuff like that, but nothing too great. She doesn't have air rave, which I think will be a whole lot better. We'll get more tools of her, but you know, overall, it's pretty weak, honestly. I gave a solid C to Trish in Devil May Cry 2, but this one not having air rave, I will give it a C-. I will give it a C-. It's not that good. It's lazy. And it's just boring. So Lady is an interesting character. She does not have a Devil Trigger, but she does have, you know, she does have a gauge that fills that Devil Trigger. And what that is basically, it's this. It's basically bazookas, or at least bombs. But the higher your gauge is filled, the more powerful it actually will become. Basically an insta-kill. Every time it's all the way up, it does a whole lot more damage. But that's pretty much all her trigger burst art, Devil Trigger does. That's all it fucking does. It is powerful. Filling it up does take a long time to fill up, because it does do a lot of damage. It does a bunch of damage, actually. But that's all it is. But it does make sense that this is hers, because she's not a devil. She is a human, a full-on flesh human. She is human, no blood, no demonic blood, nothing within her. There's no design choice. It's all an attack, but the more it's filled up, the more powerful it is. And the little it's filled up, it does very little damage. You do kind of want to save it up for boss battles, or at least when you're in a tight situation. It is very useful. It's okay, but I will give it a B-. It isn't really a Devil Trigger for Lady, but I'm gonna still rank it because that is her Devil Trigger slot when you press it. So I will give a B- to her Devil Trigger, or her trigger, her burst, whatever you want to call it. I'll give it a B-. Hey, new day. Didn't get to finish the video last time, so I'm here with the new shirt, new shit. So anyway, Devil May Cry 5 Devil Triggers. Here we go. Okay, so we're here with Devil May Cry 5. So now in Devil May Cry 5, there are 3 playable characters, and in total of 5 Devil Triggers that characters can turn into. Devil May Cry 5, Dante's Devil Trigger. So in this one, Devil May Cry 5, Dante has 2 Devil Triggers. So we're gonna look at his first Devil Trigger, his normal Devil Trigger. So let's go. I mean, it's the same one from Devil May Cry 4, of course, but you know, with the RE engine, it looks way better. I mean, god damn, can we look at this and appreciate how fucking good it looks? Like it looks good, the skin looks good, Dante looks good in his Devil Trigger. And when he has his Devil Sword, Dante's sword, it glows and shit. I mean, first, design-wise, it looks fucking great. It looks better than Devil May Cry 4, of course, because of the RE engine. It looks good. We get to see more of Dante's, skin and shit like that. It looks cool. I love the horns, love the heart in his chest again, more glowing now. And now this time, he has wings now. Yes, his trench coat actually transforms into his wings and it goes back into his trench coat. I fucking love that detail on Devil May Cry 4. He didn't have no wings at all when you jumped or anything like that. They didn't have a glide. But this one, he has a glide, and goddamn, it looks fucking good. And look at the way the movement is. Oh, it's so good. Look at it. Ah, it looks good. And then when it comes back to his trench coat, ooh, it's good. It looks fucking good. I love it. So design-wise, it's good. It's fucking good. Especially if you switch the styles. Dante's summon swords change depending on the styles. So Swordmaster, of course, it's gonna help, you know, with the different types of weapons. So I think that's fucking good. And with the Trickster, when he tricks, you know, summon swords go out. And with Gunslinger, it automatically just randomly shoots automatically by itself. There we go. See, it automatically just shoots the enemies nearby. So I think that's good. And the Royal Guard, which is very interesting because even when you're not holding the Royal Guard button, it will block the attacks by itself. Even when without holding it, it will block attacks automatically when you're in Devil Trigger or when you have your summoned swords. So those are great tools for, you know, Dante's regular Devil Trigger. Of course, you still have his Stinger that has more powerful attacks. You get more, you know, double jumps, the extra jumps, the multiple dodges in the air. Of course, you have that. So more tools for you know, Dante's Devil Trigger, and you know the RE engine makes it look even better. So I'm gonna give it an A+. I think it deserves it really well. And overall, this Devil Trigger is, you know, for his normal Devil Trigger, it's fucking great. Now, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for, goddamn, may I say, the best Devil Trigger in the entire fucking series? So, like I said before, Dante has 2 Devil Triggers. So let's activate his other one. Ah, can we? Can we appreciate? Oh my, can we? This is the best Devil Trigger in all the Devil May Cry games. The best one out of all of them. Now, if you guys don't know, this is now Dante's Devil Trigger. Of course, you know, we have our normal Devil Trigger in game, but you know, gameplay purposes. But lore-wise and story-wise, this is Dante's Devil Trigger now. This is his normal Devil Trigger now. He does not get another power-up. This is his Devil Trigger, his true form, and I feel that's fucking badass that this is his fucking Devil Trigger. Of course, you can tell it's a mixture of the modular form, but also we got some elements mixed in from the Devil May Cry 4 concept arts that, you know, Dante's Devil Trigger, you know, they never actually used for 4, but you know, they used it for here, and I feel this is pretty fucking cool. So overall, look at his wings. He has fucking 4 wings. God damn. Oh, fucking A, dude. Oh, look at that shit. So him gliding looks fucking good. He full on looks like a pure fucking demon. It's still kind of the same thing with his, you know, his chest, you know, more spread out, more demonic. I fucking love it. His horns are fucking big and shit. And overall design wise is fucking great. I fucking love it. So now for the tools for Dante, he has many. He has a lot. So when I first saw Sin Devil Trigger, you know, in the trailers and shit, his new Devil Trigger, I wonder how is that going to be? Is that going to be an actual gameplay element for Dante, or is that just going to be like story-wise or whatever? But no, this is a full-on fucking movesets for Dante. So he has a lot of tools. He has a Stinger, and he has a normal attack, you know, 1, 2, 3. You can use the R2 and R1 to R2 and L2 to do some great fucking stuff. It's fucking great. And of course, you got your own dodge, your circle that dodges towards them. So it's fucking great. I fucking love it. It's great. Teleports right to them. So he has many tools to deal, you know, really good damage. And of course, the big fucking badass one. Oh, this sick ass shit. Ooh. Woo! It's over. It's fucking in, and he goes out of it. So I love it. So I do have the, you know, quadruple S, you know, thing on. So what that means is if you have a triple S rank, you could just, you know, combo into it and just continue on comboing. So I feel that's fucking great. That added that element. It's only with the triple S rank, but you know, activated normally, He gets stabbed with his own sword, and then the transformation is pretty badass, and it stuns all the enemies around. But you know, once you use, you know, all its power and everything, he is vulnerable in you know, to whatever enemies that are around that are able to attack him, or any bosses. But normal enemies, he's pretty much fine. But you're not able to move in this state for a while, so it takes a while. So the best thing to use it is when you have your triple S rank, the quadruple S ability. That's the best way to use, you know, the Sin Devil Trigger. Of course, you can still find other ways to deal with it, so I feel this is fucking great. So this is, you know, the peak of Dante's Devil Trigger. They did it fucking justice. I fucking love it. I know I spent a lot of time with Sin Devil Trigger, but goddamn, it deserves its time. It is the best fucking Devil Trigger. So of course, it gets an S rank for being the perfect fucking Devil Trigger, and I'm gonna up it because I fucking love this Devil Trigger to a double S rank because of how fucking cool it is. The peak of Dante's Devil Trigger, and it's just so fucking cool. I would have given the triple S rank, but only, you know, there is that point when you're out of Devil Trigger, you're vulnerable, you could get hit by, you know, bosses, but you know, it's expected. I understand that. Does not take away anything. I'm just gonna give a double S rank, you know, just because of those points. But either way, it's a fucking masterpiece. I fucking love Dante's Devil Trigger. His Devil Trigger is the fucking best. It's just fucking great. Oh my god, fucking A. Alright, Nero's Devil Trigger. Alright, so finally in Devil May Cry 5, Nero acquires his own Devil Trigger. And I have some opinions on it. So let's go Devil Trigger. Oh, my bad. My bad. Wrong move. Okay. Alright. His Devil Trigger. One thing let's talk about is design. I fucking love the wings. I love that shit. It looks pretty fucking cool. You know, the wings of it, that's the one thing that's fucking great about Nero's Devil Trigger. It looks fucking great. You know, when you attack, it still keeps the same thing from Devil May Cry 4. You know, like, instead of one arm or, you know, his spirit demon attacking, he now has like multiple. Now he uses these wings, these wing arms actually, that help him. So I feel that's fucking great. And it looks fucking good. The body, the legs, I don't mind that. I think it looks great. You know, you can still see, you know, his, you know, what is his demon arm, what his demon arm was. So I think that's great. The problem I have with this Devil Trigger is the face. I mean, I'm not a big fan about the face. The face is where it kind of loses me, man. I mean, the horns, I know they're taking some, you know, the inspiration from Devil May Cry 4, but seeing it here, it looks weird. I'm not sure if I like it or not. And the white hair, or his long hair. I don't know why he gets, you know, long hair when he doesn't have long hair. He has his short hair, but you know, he gets fucking long hair because anime. The colors of his face, or at least like, you know, that greenish bluish, I don't like it. I wish it kind of went for like a bluish color, light blue or something like that. But goddamn, he mighty thick. He has still the same things as in Devil May Cry 4, like he has Showdown being classic because he still brings out Yamato. I think that's pretty fucking cool. And he still has a shockwave. Oh, looks even more badass. God damn, it looks good. I'm not gonna count this as one of his tools because you can still do this without his DT. I'm only gonna rank stuff when you're, you know, only in DT, only specifically stuff that you could do in DT. You can still do that even when you're not in DT. Overall, it's a good design. I'm just not a big fan in the face part and some of the colors of Nero's Devil Trigger. I know it's supposed to be different from Dante and, you know, Virgil because, you know, mostly Nero has, you know, mostly has human blood within him. You know, he is part demon. He is 75% human and, you know, 25% demon. So I could understand, you know, the difference in his design. But overall, I'm gonna give it an A-, you know, because of the face and, you know, some of the colors and the horns. That's mainly because of it. So I'll give it an A-. Okay, so new playable character in Devil May Cry 5, V, aka Virgil's human side. So let's talk about his Devil Trigger. So let's go.
Eradicate them all.
Ooh, all right. Okay, so his Devil Trigger is Nightmare basically. Goddamn. Oh, you fucking missed. So his Devil Trigger, he summons Nightmare, and Nightmare automatically just fights, you know, all the enemies. He basically does whatever he does without actually me controlling him. And Nightmare does pack a punch. He does deal a lot of damage. Of course, he does automatically because, you know, V is taking care of Griffin and Shadow all around him. So Nightmare's doing, you know, his own thing. There's many different ways that Nightmare can, you know, come out of. You know, he can come through buildings, you know. He can come through buildings, you know, come from the sky like a meteor. So it's, you know, many different ways Nightmare can come out. You could also ride Nightmare, but, you know, he's a little bit slow. But, you know, I expect it because, you know, Nightmare is powerful. You have some combos, you know, they're very slow. But, you know, they're meant, you know, to do some, you know, big damage. You can do some spinneroos. Wow, bah. It's better to use, you know, Nightmare in some situations. Of course, you can also do the laser by holding the circle. You can just fuck them up. Oh! You can also move it, but it's very slow. Of course, V gets white hair and all his tattoos are gone from him. The good thing about when you summon Nightmare and your familiars are down, you can summon him and they all revive at the same time without being close to them and reviving them by, you know, by yourself. The design of Nightmare isn't that bad. You know, it does have some elements from Devil May Cry 1, and, you know, being all, you know, all mushy and all just liquidy. And here with the RE engine, it does, you know, look more disgusting like in Devil May Cry 1. Overall, I'm gonna give V's Devil Trigger a A-. Now, the last Devil Trigger in Devil May Cry 5. Sadly, we don't play as this character, but we do see his Devil Trigger, and I feel like his Devil Trigger is it's pretty badass. So Virgil does get a Devil Trigger, of course. Even though he's not a playable character, he still gets a Devil Trigger, and I think it's worth talking about, you know, his Devil Trigger, because his Devil Trigger is actually pretty cool. So Devil Trigger Virgil. Whoo, my god. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this fucking Devil Trigger. Oh my fucking god. So right off the bat, his design improved a lot from his, you know, original. It looks more demonic. You know, you can see more of his demonic skin. You see he has a motherfucking V in his chest. He has a reference to fucking Virgil in DMC with this fucking car having a V in his fucking, having him in his car. Fucking faggot. No, but overall, I like that his tail isn't connected right in his ass. Like, his tail's connected to his back and his demonic tail. Of course, he has the same thing as Dante, you know, having like the 4 wings. I feel that's pretty fucking cool. Yamato is formed into his arms instead of having, you know, in one of the arms, you know, just staying there. Actually, he can use it in both arms. So since he is not a playable character, we can't really experiment, you know, his moveset, stuff like that. Of course, you could do that in the PC, but sadly, I'm someone who can't afford a PC right now, so we can only look and rank Virgil's Devil Trigger with the things we have. But of course, even in this boss fight, there's many different things that he has. Of course, he has fucking Doppelganger, which is a reference from DMC. Overall, Virgil's Devil Trigger is pretty badass. You know, visual wise, it looks fucking great. I wish he was a playable character to see more of his Devil Trigger. So this is, of course, Virgil's, you know, true form of his Devil Trigger. I feel it looks fucking great. Fucking love what they did with the face, and the blue just represents very well Virgil. I fucking love it. It's just a really cool fucking Devil Trigger. Since it's not playable character, I'm only gonna give it an S rank. I think it deserves it. It looks fucking great, and it's motherfucking Virgil. So if only if it was playable, I think and he had more movesets in his tools in his DT, but since that's only it, I'll give it a solid S rank. And of course, to pay respects to the reboot of Devil May Cry, I think we need to rank its Devil Triggers as well. Since I don't have DMC in the PS4, the definitive edition, only have in the Xbox, and I'm too lazy to hook it up and shit just to rank those 2 Devil Triggers, not worth it. But I know what the Devil Triggers are, so let's just talk about it and just rank them. So in DMC Devil May Cry, there's 2 Devil Triggers, 2 playable characters, Dante and Virgil. Dante's Devil Trigger, it's a disappointment. Basically, all the talk behind making the game, you know, behind the scenes, the director, the producers from Ninja Theory, all talking about Devil May Cry and its reboot. And they talk shit about old Devil May Cry, the old Dante, you know, his white hair, his red coat, all that shit. And for some reason, for Dante's Devil Trigger, they decided to give him the red coat and the white hair just to please fans, basically. Or at least to appeal to the old fans. And honestly, it was pretty bad. The Devil Trigger is disgustingly bad. It's awful. It's not even fucking good. It looks bad. God fucking damn. The tools that Dante gets in his DT is mainly, it's nothing basically. The only thing that's good is that the time slows down and all the enemies around the ground float up. But if you're a casual, not too crazy with combos and know how to get in the air and all that shit, you're basically not going to use it. It's basically going to be useless for you. For us, we know how to get up and pull them down, go up with them, do some combos, etc. But it's pretty much useless just putting all the enemies in the air. It's fucking bad. It's a bad devil trigger, bad tools. Not even, I don't know why they were thinking, but I'm gonna give it a D rank. Yes, the bottom of the barrel, a D rank. It is that bad. It's not that good. It's an insult to the fans when they were talking shit in the beginning and they added the fucking red coat and white hair Dante. It's a bad devil trigger among all of them. So it gets a fucking D. Virgil's devil trigger, oh my god. So Virgil gets a DLC, and sadly DMC is the only game that gets a Virgil DLC. That's so sad, man. But he has a devil trigger, and his devil trigger is a doppelganger. But the doppelganger looks like shit. It's just some liquid fluid. It's just some liquid that represents a body. It looks bad. It doesn't look that good. But I do give it props. It does try to go in depth with this devil trigger. When you're in Virgil's devil trigger and it's doppelganger, you can control it to go, you know, devil form or angel form. Because in DMC, Dante and Virgil, they're Nephilim, half demon, half angel, and they have angelic and demonic powers. And with Virgil's devil trigger, you could kind of tell the doppelganger which to go. It could go devil form, or you could go angel form or normal form, or you could both go angel form. So there is depth with Virgil's DT, and I like that they actually put some thought into it. It is not a bad DT. Design wise, it's terrible, but you know, tools, it does have interesting stuff, and you can pull off some really interesting combos. But it isn't too great, honestly. But I like that they try to give it, you know, some tools at least. I'll give it a C+. At least they try to put some efforts, some depth into his devil trigger to make the combat more fun, and I can respect that. And all honesty, I almost forgot to rank those devil triggers. I almost forgot. Anyway, guys, this concludes this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know it's a pretty long video, but you know, I wanted to honor it, you know, ranking all the devil triggers, because I think the devil trigger mechanic is a really interesting thing in Devil May Cry, on the Devil May Cry series. And the best devil trigger, of course, is Dante's Sin devil trigger, the best one. And of course, the worst devil trigger in Devil May Cry series is the reboot Dante's devil trigger. It is fucking awful. Honorable mentions, of course, will be Virgil's DT in Devil May Cry 3 while he goes into Nilo Angelo in his devil trigger. That's a fucking amazing thing they did. I'm really glad they did that. And of course, Virgil's devil trigger in Devil May Cry 5. I think that's fucking great. And of course, we gotta give an honorable mention to the one devil trigger that looked pretty fucking cool when I first fucking saw it. Sparta's devil trigger. I think his devil form looks fucking great. Those are the honorable mentions I will mention. And overall, this concludes this ranking video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Do you guys want to see another type of ranking video, you know, in the Devil May Cry series? Do you want me to rank, you know, the Devil May Cry weapons, or do you want me to rank, you know, the babes of Devil May Cry, which is the best waifu, which is lady? I mean, I think it'll be a pretty interesting video. I mean, I'll get a lot of people triggered, but hey, I think it'll be pretty interesting. Or do you want to see different rankings from different games? Let me know. So thank you guys for watching. Yes, I'll mention this again. DMC's devil trigger, Dante's is the fucking worst. One of you guys actually told me to, you know, make a playthrough of DMC. I really don't want to, but it'll be fun. At least you should play with a friend. I think that will make it more fun. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, guys, thank you guys all for watching. My name is Brian, also known as Bray, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.